When I first arrived on Erebos 9, I didn't believe in monsters. The planet was black, literally. Its surface absorbed light like a sponge, and the atmosphere shimmered with faint crimson waves. My assignment was simple: study the atmospheric anomalies and gather biological samples for the United Earth Science Corps. Nothing about that suggested fangs or blood rituals. My name's Eli Veyra, exobiologist, and one of the last humans foolish enough to volunteer for deep solo research missions. Erebos 9 was supposed to be uninhabited, just another dark rock spinning around a red dwarf. But from the moment I landed, I felt eyes watching me. The first night, I woke to the sound of breathing outside my hab module. Slow, steady, almost human. When I stepped out with my light rifle, the beam fell on a figure, tall, slender, skin glinting like liquid mercury under the red sky. Her eyes glowed silver, and when she smiled, I saw the teeth. Not human teeth. Too sharp. Too perfect. Human, she said softly. You've come too far from your son. I froze. The universal translator barely kept up with her accent. Ancient, melodic, almost hypnotic. I managed to whisper, "Who are you?" She stepped closer. The movement was graceful, predatory, and beautiful all at once. "I am Veyra of the Eclipton, last of my kind," she said. "And you bleed warmth." That's when I noticed her lips were stained red. Middle, the pact of blood. Over the following days, she returned every night. At first, I was terrified, keeping my pulse rifle close and lights on. But she never attacked. Instead, she asked questions about Earth, about our oceans, about sunlight. She seemed to crave stories more than blood. Veyra told me she was part of a species that once thrived across several dark worlds near dying stars. They fed not on mere sustenance, but on energy carried through living blood, the chemical and bioelectrical vitality that humans called life force. When their worlds began to dim, the Eclipton could no longer feed. They went into stasis or turned on each other. She was the last awake. "You humans," she said one evening, sitting opposite me near the oxygen generator, "carry more warmth than any being I've met. It's intoxicating, dangerous, and beautiful." I tried to laugh it off. "Sounds like you're describing coffee." Her eyes narrowed. "No. Coffee does not sing to me." The way she said it made my heart skip. A week later, I collapsed during an atmospheric sampling. Low oxygen, dehydration, maybe stress. I remember the ground tilting, the sky fading to black. The next thing I knew, I was lying in my bunk, warm and alive. Veyra sat beside me, her silver hair faintly glowing. "You were dying," she said quietly. So, I shared what I could. At first, I didn't understand. Then I saw the faint puncture marks on my wrist and realized my blood wasn't the only one exchanged. "You gave me your blood?" I asked weakly. She looked away, almost ashamed. "It was that or let you fade." I should have been horrified, but instead, I felt connected. My veins tingled with a soft hum, like electricity under the skin. My senses sharpened. I could see faint heat traces in the air, hear the hum of my own generator half a kilometer away. And when I looked at her, I could sense her heartbeat, steady, ancient, calm. Something inside me changed that night. The bond between blood and stars. Days turned into weeks. The more time I spent with Veyra, the less I wanted to leave. We explored the caverns beneath Erebos 9, where phosphorescent fungi glowed like fallen stars. She showed me the remnants of her civilization, empty palaces carved into obsidian cliffs, murals depicting beings dancing beneath eclipses. She spoke of love as something physical, a union of energy and will, shared through blood and memory. You humans speak of love as a feeling, she said. For my people, it was an exchange. 2 hearts, 1 rhythm. I laughed nervously. Sounds romantic and terrifying. She smiled faintly. Would you fear being known completely? Sometimes she would touch my hand, and I'd feel memories that weren't mine. Vast halls filled with light, her mother's laughter, the moment she watched her world die. In return, she said she could see my memories, Earth's oceans, city lights, my sister's voice. One evening, as a storm raged outside, she stood close to me, her hand pressed to my chest. Your heart burns brighter every day, but human hearts are fragile. Without balance, it will destroy you. What do you mean? I asked. My blood is changing you, she whispered. You're becoming something between our kinds. I felt the truth of it. My reflection had grown paler. My pupils reacted to starlight instead of sunlight. I hadn't eaten in days, yet I wasn't hungry. I could feel emotions radiating from her, even when she said nothing. I can fix this, she said, if you let me complete the bond. But once done, there's no return to what you were. What happens if I refuse? Your body will reject my gift. You'll burn from the inside. The choice, humanity or eternity. I should have called for extraction. I should have contacted Earth Command. But every time I thought of leaving her behind, my chest ached like gravity itself was pulling me toward her. That night, under the eclipsed sky, she brought me to an ancient altar carved with glowing runes. This is where we bound our lives, she said softly. No vows, only exchange. She drew a blade of obsidian and pressed it to her palm. Silver blood welled up, shimmering like starlight. 1 drop binds. 3 make you mine. I hesitated. My rational mind screamed that I was losing myself. But when I looked into her eyes, I saw centuries of loneliness, an eternity spent waiting for someone who could understand warmth again. So I took her hand and pressed it to my lips. Her blood was cold, but it burned when it touched my tongue. I felt the world tilt, my heartbeat syncing with hers. Every pulse, every thought, every memory, ours. Pain and ecstasy blurred into one. I saw the cosmos unfold, the birth of stars, the fall of civilizations, her endless wandering. And she saw me, my childhood laughter, my fears, my love for humanity's stubborn hope. When it ended, she whispered, now you will never be alone. The consequence, a changed man. Weeks later, a rescue team finally arrived. Earth Command had tracked my distress beacon, which must have triggered during the storm. When they found me, I was standing alone outside the Hab Dome. They didn't see her. To them, I looked pale, altered, but alive. Where's your companion? The captain asked. I smiled faintly. She's part of me now. They assumed isolation had broken me. They didn't see the faint silver veins running under my skin, or the way the light dimmed slightly when I blinked. Back on Earth, I underwent every medical scan imaginable. They found anomalies in my blood, an unknown compound that regenerated cells faster than they could measure. My heart rate had slowed to 20 beats per minute, yet I never lost consciousness. They kept me under observation, but I could feel her even then, whispering softly in my mind. The night is ours now, Eli. You are not bound to their sun anymore. One evening, the doctors drew a sample of my blood for study. The moment the vial filled, it shimmered faintly, silver and red intertwining. Then it pulsed once and shattered. That was the first time I realized her blood wasn't dormant. It was alive, ending the last gift. Months passed. I left the Science Corps. They said I was unstable, though I preferred the term reborn. I couldn't stand sunlight for long anymore, but I didn't need it. I felt stronger, faster, more attuned to the emotions around me. But most of all, I missed her. One night, as I stood on a cliff overlooking the Atlantic, I felt her presence again, stronger than ever. The air shimmered, and her voice echoed inside me. "You've carried my gift well," she said, "but your world is not ready for what you are." "I don't care," I whispered. "I just want to see you again." The stars flickered, and her form appeared, translucent, woven from starlight. She looked exactly as I remembered, regal, sorrowful, and breathtaking. "You are more than human now," she said. "You are the bridge between warmth and shadow. My people will live again through you." Her hand touched my chest, and I felt my heartbeat slow until the world went silent. Then a surge of energy flooded through me, brighter than any sun. My vision filled with constellations I'd never seen. When I awoke, I was lying in the sand. The stars above pulsed faintly, in rhythm with my heart. Her voice lingered. "Eternity is not a curse when shared." I looked down at my hands, veins glowing faint silver, heartbeat steady and slow, and realized I was no longer bound by mortality. Not vampire, not alien, not human. Something between, something new. I whispered into the wind, "Thank you, Veyra." And as the night embraced me, I felt her answer, gentle, eternal.